Okay, let me see about putting this thumbnail as well as passing it on. There we go. Quick edit. All right. I do apologize for the slight delay and everything, as well as I post on social. Okay, it is just me tonight, so I do hope everyone's okay with this. You know, I know a few people I know are. I know someone is currently streaming right now that I know of. I'm still working things out a little bit, so I hope y'all don't mind. There we go. Just posting in a few things on Discord. Just a few places, nothing special. Okay, there we go. And I know it's late for a lot of people, and I do apologize for that as well. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, here we go. Trying to remember what I'm doing. Okay, that is abilities. Okay.
Yes, Doctor?
Okay. Hello, Dorothy.
Exactly how bad is the supply situation here at Pembroke?
It's pretty bad.
It really depends. Dr. Swansea deftly works his society contacts for monies, but with the quarantine, well, we're in God's hands.
That's not comforting.
Please, could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
Good to know. I am,
Why then do you always work the nights?
I just felt like
you ever sleep?
I'm bringing this back up
At the
just so I
Pembroke,
could
we're always hands on deck.
just play this, have a good time, have some fun.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
That is true even to this day.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
Alright. Now I get to the morgue. I'll talk to more people as time goes on, but I needed to take a break from streaming for a couple of reasons.
It's locked, all right.
But the biggest reason I am taking a bit of a break from everything is I'm reworking my social media presence in general. So with the rework, streaming is not going to be a big focus for me right now. At least not until I get content, a bit more content of stuff I want to put out first. This is less about me wanting to do less gaming, but more I want to do more things I actually really enjoy doing.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
There we go. Let's take care of the skull. Any other skulls? Right there. And I ate a skull. Check for more just in case. Yep, got them all. Alright, let's get into this let's get into this warehouse. Found a stick. Scavenging is a lifesaver in this game. Lead plate. Good to know. Good to have. Got some bullets. Bullets will come in handy later when I use a gun. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really... Again, I am changing levels. I'm not... This is open world. So... But also I'm taking off from streaming and stuff so I can actually just enjoy Halloween. This is my favorite time of year. I love Halloween. I love the spooky shit. So... Taking a break from doing the streaming and stuff just made sense to me, I guess. So, don't worry, I'm still alive. I'm doing all right. I just needed a breather from everything. Vampire senses. Glass vial. Let's keep taking a look here. Let's keep exploring. And no, I did not post on Twitter because I am strictly not looking. I'm actually staying off of Twitter right now as well, as part of my social media, as well as from me unplugging from social media to rework everything. I want to post more music stuff. I don't want to just post.
It's locked, all right.
Yeah, I'm trying to do more than just streaming on YouTube. I want to actually post other content as well. I got some shillings. I know the Brits don't use shillings anymore. What was my crouch?
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Yeah.
It's locked.
So there's two types of vampires. There's the conscious vampires that know what's going on. And then there's the Scalds, which work closer to rabid animals.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
So I kind of like that about this game. There's more than one. There's variations of enemies and monsters in this game. Wow, shit. As I clearly missed one.
I cannot enter.
Not sure how I missed that one, but I missed it.
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Yep, that's the trick. Finding what works. Kind of a cool idea with the crafting, I think. Watery, rich blood sample. Okay. Bit of a sample of blood with some water in it. The fuck? I forgot that this game actually does have plenty of creepy moments as well.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
Give me your blood. And your shit. More shillings. What the fuck? Oh, it's a dead body.
It's locked.
Officer Pembroke Hospital Medical Examiner, report investment, Sam O'Connor. Huh. Fishman, type of death was natural. Fast progressing pneumonia by virus-induced pulmonary. Influenza.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this.
Okay, so these are... Okay, so I'm gonna have to go talk to people about this guy.
It's locked, all right.
Always be smarter than the Skald. Ow. Give me your blood.
These Skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
So the higher difficulties in the game is if you drink human blood, you...
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Go. Now get out of here. Alright. And the stream's gonna be short tonight, people. I'm just still tired. Yeah. Got it. All right. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. I know the sidebar is annoying for comments and whatnot, but last time I streamed without it, it kept saying I was getting the same comment over and over again. It was driving me nuts because I wasn't seeing it on my phone. So I'm just leaving it up tonight just in case anyone who's lurking it, or someone pops in and decides to comment or wants to be involved in the chat. I mean, that's kind of just a good plan in general for when you're sick. Oh, what am I missing with this cause of death guy? I need to look at this again. Just be safe. The soundtrack in this game is also fantastic. I swear I killed all the skulls in here. There we go.
Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman.
Yep, common for fishermen.
Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps?
Very possible.
The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened.
Very curious indeed. Very,
A
very
puncture
curious.
over the left lung. Possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Oh boy. I don't think I spoke with him yet, so let's go say hi to the poor bastard. Like, let's be honest, misdiagnoses were very common back then. Hell, they can be common now. So it's all about being careful with medicine. Just be careful in general. That's my advice. Just be careful with everything. Oh, God, I'm starting to think I'm just bad at this whole thing. Streaming, being entertaining, content, I don't know. Maybe it would be I should have put on an actual scary game instead of something more obscure. Like, this game does have plenty of creepy moments, too. And a couple good scares every now and then. So...
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Do you need my assistance?
Not at all. I'm sure that you are used to gaining people's trust with your impressive skills. Well, it will not be the case with me.
Dude,
Thank you for your time.
you don't know what kind of doctor I am. I could be a great doctor for all you to know.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll
Damn.
never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal,
About that.
what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard.
You learn a good amount of medicine stuff through this game. Not all of it's accurate, and some of it is part of the time, but
or in your case, a vampire.
It's
delusional, you say?
a fun thing.
Oh, sad and petty. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
I
Thank
love
you,
the
mortal,
kind of
but
irony
do not
here.
interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Yeah, there's a good amount of irony here.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Handled it like a boss. Tippets. Where's that bastard? Is that him?
Good evening, sir.
So it is
That's
true.
him.
The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to
I
working
do enjoy
in a
the
better environment.
interactions between the two.
It's not exactly the best situation in London either. I can't have expected this hospital to be prepared for what was to come.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. During this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Yeah, tell me more about
Nurse
that.
Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
So that goes into timing, because that actually is something that was a thing back then.
Any opinion
There weren't
about
a lot of women
management?
doctors. There actually weren't any
I
women
don't always
doctors.
agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office down again.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die?
There
what
we go.
happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
That's always what
What
happens.
was
That
the
does
nature
happen.
of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Oh,
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
and the priest.
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, Sora, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief.
Yeah.
Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end
There you
up
go.
in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why
Oh, yeah.
did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
Very interesting. Except he was a real thing. Except he was real. Or maybe she is real and no one's taking her seriously. Who knows?
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a
There we go.
conflicted soul,
Just
searching
having a
for
drink.
light.
There we go.
Do you know Tom Watts? The bartender from the Turtle. I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom.
Tom.
Without men like him, corruption and
I don't know.
despair
I
would
would
have
drink
wiped out the East End long ago.
At a pub called the Turtle.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in
Yep.
this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a
Yeah,
lot of
it's kind of
tensions
depressing.
between
What
the
happens
gangs
to
and the
Sean
Dockers
is
trade union.
also sad.
The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their
If
leader.
I'm able to do that on stream,
Who leads the gang now?
it would
Since
be
Clay
a
Cox
thing.
went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, DustyThePunk.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
So he runs an asylum for the homeless, but he's not a
Why didn't
priest.
you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
I don't think he realized that
How
his
do you
friend was
feel, Mr.
was a
Hampton?
vampire, or the
Medically
vampire thing,
speaking, I mean.
or how real
I
it
feel
was.
exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Yes, we will.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I don't want to talk to her.
Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
There we go.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Thomas. He's missing part of his face. I need to find...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain.
Nurses are... So help wanted ad for nurses.
I will not let you down, Michael.
So many deaths. And still more coming. I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
My sweet girl.
Alright, here we go.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls? When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Good to know.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
That's Sacroid. I do not envy anyone who works in medical.
If only I were young again.
Yeah, this person's dying.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
It's good to talk to
I've
everybody
already heard
in
about
this
you,
game
Dr.
for sure.
Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Oh, I don't have that much. Maybe be when I have more money, dude. There's the nurse.
It is now or never.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see.
Really?
Well, I'm a little surprised.
Good to know.
But I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
He's not really wrong on that, is it? Was he?
How are
There you
things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
It's a vampire.
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant
Perhaps.
professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett in our situation?
You took a great
Perhaps
risk.
you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks? Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Wait, what did I? Oh, I lost a hint. Maybe I needed to actually talk to him about that again. Oops. That happens.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious.
Let's talk to these people.
The flu is wreaking
I know this
havoc
is gonna be a
amongst
slow
the
episode,
staff
but
and patients.
the stream wasn't meant to be a long-running one.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Get a grip,
you
lady.
Must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm fine, really. I just need to sleep.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Oh. Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Go. Let's go speak with Edgar. Let's see what he wants.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier.
Sure.
The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital,
it's
brand
all
new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
All right. I should probably rest and level myself up a little bit. Just a thought. The game doesn't stop when I do this, so I'm not missing too much. But I am going to need to call it after this rest. Okay. Cannot look at the gun. Is the knife? There we go. Let's do this real fast before I go. Let's go ahead and do blood barrier. For syringes. And spring. Hold that, and there we go. Okay. So sorry about that. But regardless, I'm gonna have to call this here. Because I do need to get to bed myself. Anyone who's rewatching this, that is saved on site, thanks to YouTube. Feel free to check out DustyThePunk on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not active on it on my social media right now, as I am currently working on reworking everything. DustyThePunk90 if you wanted to see some goofy videos or some fair videos. And me, along with the other members of Team Abnormalities, be sure to check that out on the Team Abnormalities YouTube channel. I wish everyone a good night, and remember to keep rocking, motherfuckers.